Yeah, man. Yeah. Come on, man. You gotta let me take time to ease back into the shows and all them things there. You mean? Come on. Man. I know you seen the title of the show though, yeah? Oh man. What should we start with first? I'll tell you what actually. Let me big up the people them in the place first of all. Type your name in the chat real quick if you want to get a shout out in the next 10, 15 seconds. Yeah, or while I'm reading the names out. If your name is in by the time you get to the end of it, yeah, or I'm feeling nice, I might read it out, yeah? So, shout out Assad Z3. I want them feel like old type Charlie's Girl 67 there. Come on, old type way, man. Girl, let me pray, man. Man, I want them feel like actual factual did it. There, come on. Old type Nebula, there, another disco. Come on. Party like you're in a disco. Old tight Lulu. Jeez! Come on. I want them feel like Louise. Mad. Old tight Bunga Bunga never die for hunger. Yeah, man. The H&H Rastas in the building. Yeah, burning fire upon racists left, right, and center. Yeah. Yeah, man. Rising up the alarm upon the benefits cheats. Yeah. Mad. Them are teeth the benefit. Huh? When them are supposed to take care of the disabled youth, them are teeth up, them are teeth up with blood clot benefits. Man, out of A1000, come on, what you telling me? My age. Jeez, hey, big video A1000. Yeah. Say nothing, man. We deal with that one Friday. Old tight. Old tight. Look for a new name. See anyone new in the building? Old tight Empress Akina. Shidaenya. Mad. God damn, some traffic just built up on the route, man. Put some extra time. Might be good for you. It's no good for me. I'm trying to get back to the. You hear me? Mad. Our old type base Lucius. Yeah. Mad. Old type base Lucius. The Preston driller. Pressing the Blackburn Utes in Preston. Mad. Oh my days. Hey. Shout out, cuz. Hey, Luke, I heard you selling vapes. I heard you selling vapes. I'm not trying to buy that one though, cuz, man. You don't know where Shire's Mark's been. Yeah, his Mark's definitely been on a cat's bite. Yeah, the pussy cloud. I want them feel like mad. Yeah, man. So, yes, we got him there. Man, like Carnito the Dawn. Come on. I mean, OG Ellen James. They are. Jeez, old tight life. Easy, behave yourself. He says, breaking news. G Block has joined the Tommy crew. God damn. That's how you know I would have went mad. Yeah. That's when you know it's time for me to tap out and hang up, get off the swing. Yeah. Get off the swing. Yeah. Yo. If you ever hear that news, yeah, Velle's joined the Tommy crew, yeah, you won't see a picture of me on the swing no more, cause you see me in a straight jacket. Yeah, Temple Cloud. Oh, up to some boy. Hold tight, Shelly Multi. Come on, my AG. Bigger, hold tight, Strawberry Atheist. She says, Salford is kicking off. What going on in Salford? What's happening up there? Mate, I want to get in that lane, mate. In there. Sweet. So, Yeah, just make sure I'm on the right lane. Mad, mad. Yeah, man. Give us an update on Salford, man. You know, we might have to divert to that a little bit later. Yeah. Shout out, shout out, shout out. Who else is in there? Who else is in there? Who else is in there? Man like 92 Dredge, now. Rastafari and all them thing there. Yeah, how you mean? Yeah, man, rise up the calabash. Yeah, yo. Yeah, man. Hey, listen, old plastic Rasta won't even know what a calabash is, in it, yeah? So, yeah, pew pew. You hear me? Yo, untold truth. Big up yourself. Mad, 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 mad. Man said seven over got his pip, you know. Mad. I'll go on for seven. Oh, Salford's not immigration, just youth, yeah? Alright, 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 alright. Ain't what's that guy's name from Salford? He got killed? They still have their gang? I can't remember still. But the man, someone tried to run up on the pub first of all, and they took this thing off him and murked him at the pub, innit? And I think the payback was for that. I can't remember the guy's name though still. I remember it later still. But yeah, alright man. So big up the people them in the place. That's it. Come on man. You know what time it is. Massey. Is it Paul Massey? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Alright, alright. Yeah man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah man. Yeah, so shout out Mr. Lottie man. Sure you got the Massey right. I'll give you a shout out still, yeah? Nah, seven works. He has a job. Okay, okay. Yeah, but you can have a job and have pip, you know. Don't get it twisted. You can have a job and be on benefits as well. So, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to say, cuz man. We in general, yeah, shouldn't really be looking down on people that claim benefits, man. But you know, that's the way it is, bruv. We're in a shooting down system. Yeah? Okay, okay. Yeah, no, Paul Massey died ages ago, man. I can't remember what their gang was called still. But there was a few of them in it, but I just remember obviously the news about Paul Massey in it. By the way, Shelly Mo is using my picture. Hey, yeah, Shelly Mo, change your picture, man. Don't make it the same as Helen James or actual Helen's actual picture, guys. Yeah, I'm gonna have to dash you out still. So, yeah, change the picture still. Now, the shit thing about YouTube is now, yeah, is that you don't know how, like, someone might change the picture over and it will be like, um, fuck, you know. Oh, fuck, yeah. Nail, mate. Fucking road closed. I hate that. You know when the fucking. It's not, bro. Fucking hell. Use the on the guy into one of these ones. I can't really see the screen that well as well yet to even tell you if it is or it ain't. Yeah, so. Yeah, do me a favor. No one use anyone else's pictures, details, or what's it called? It's an AI. Yeah, but who's censored though? Yeah, I do usually use Waze, you know. If I'm using like, yeah, more time if I'm in one of fucking the other cars or the other van, I'll slap on Waze still, and then usually on Android Auto. But on Android Auto, it goes straight like to Google Maps, innit? I don't usually bring up Waze, man. Actually, you can. You can use Waze on Android Auto, actually, still. You just have to select it, innit? But more times, it just goes straight to the map, innit? Right, yeah, anyway, man, let's get busy. So let's get busy, man. Let me warm up the place first of all, man. Yeah, 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 man. On behalf of the black community, yeah, this is what we should all be doing. Yeah, it's a panel show now, mate. So big up yourself, though, man. Like Scholar Morris. Yeah, yeah. It's similar, but not the same person. Hey, now change the picture, man. Stop being a pagan about it's similar and not the same person. Just change the picture, man. Car, you know, if I was in someone's chat, yeah, and they had a picture that was mine, or I thought it was mine, I'd expect them to change it still. So, yeah, change the picture, man. So we could just crack on with what we're doing. Yeah. So, all right, let me start off, man. Yeah. Nah, not you, man. Hold tight to take care as well. Yeah. Big up yourself. So let's start it off, man. Yeah. So we've got actions that should be taken by every ethnic minority, every anti-racist, and every non-pagan within the UK. Yeah. All right.
Tommy Robinson has just been kicked out of a London restaurant and was refused service. And the restaurant in question is the Hawksmoor in London. Now, this is terrific news. Why? Because I think this should serve as a reality check that you don't get to incite hate, violence, division, and then just think you and your mate can go out on a Friday night for a nice quiet meal at a restaurant where you're most likely going to be served by the very same people you encourage others to hate. So, to the Hawksmoor in London, bravo. In fact, I'm going to leave your review right now. Hawksmoor, London. Oh, nice. There they are. Let's click on that. Let's go to reviews. Oh, excellent. 5 stars. I love you guys. Please keep up the great job. And see you soon. Kisses. Mwah. Post. Lovely job. Tommy Robinson has just been kicked.
Put up somewhere to clip check that window. God damn, I just clipped the wing mirror, man, on my bumper clout. Man. Hopefully I ain't left the mark still. Yeah, man, but big up the review gang. Yeah, make sure you leave a review on Hawksmoor's restaurant. Give them 5 stars for their impeccable service. You know? And the quality staff, the quality management that they have in the building. Yeah. We got to shout them out, man, you know? Doing the Lord's work. Amen. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Amen. So. Yeah, bud. Yeah. Mad. Ah, yeah, that's better, man. Well done, show. That's what I like to see, love. Yeah, teamwork makes the dream work. Yeah. What you saying? Shell and Hell's got beef, yeah? It's mad out here. Hey. We're trying to keep it calm for the second still, yeah? So make sure you guys leave a leave a review, 5-star review on Hawksmoor's restaurants, Trustpilot, and all them things there. Yeah, big up yourself, Patsy. Walk on, walk. Yeah, man, big up. Yeah, man. So let me let you lot vote now on the next video. Actually, let me play this one video here, yeah? Let me play this one video there, yeah? And then you can vote on the next video. Yeah.
As you know, these arseholes come along and go, it's immigrants, it's people on benefits. It's these fat bastards at the top of the chain, all the arseholes that own the banks and the big pension funds and private equity. They're the fuckers. They're the fuckers that's allowing all this to happen. These arseholes. And if they wanted to, they could fucking fix it. But they make too much money keeping us all fighting amongst each other. Are you a Catholic? Are you a Protestant? Are you an immigrant? Fuck you. Are you on benefits? Are you a diabetic? It's arseholes.
Aye.
Fucking arseholes. Divide and rule. That's what they do. I mean, it's always the man in the street that suffers. And the thing is, far as, you know, these arseholes come along and go, it's immigrants, it's people on benefits. It's these fat bastards at the top of the chain.
Yo. Check, test it. My bad. I was on mute still. But yo. Let's have a vote real quick, yeah, for which video you want to review next. So press 1 if we want to review a benefit from Brexit. Press 2 if you want to review the BNP guy speaking bare smack. Yeah, we're going to review them both, innit? But which one you want first? Yeah, 1, Brexit. 2, BNP. Come on, big up Nixie, walk on. You can only vote 1 or 2, so all these other numbers don't mean shit. Yeah, so 1, Brexit, benefit. 2, BNP, spazzing out. Is Morrison the BNP one? Yeah, man. Yeah, shout out the scholar though, man. I try to besmirch the scholar's name out here, cuz. Behave yourself. Yeah, me. Try to besmirch the Bumberclat scholar's name out here, cuz. Yes, sir. So, you not finished voting yet? Let me see. 1, 2. 1 or 2. You can only pick 1. Or 2. Like, you can only pick 1 number though. 2 ones. 1, 2. 3 1s, 2 2s. 3 3, 2 2 each. 4 3. 4 4. 5 4. 5 all. Fucking hell. What's wrong with you, Doc? Can't make a decision, can ya? Lord have mercy. So it's 5 all. Alright, I'll tell you what, yeah, fuck it. We'll go with BNP first. And then we'll go with Brexit later, innit, yeah? Alright, whoa. You pick one. Alright, that's the deciding vote, yeah? 6-5 to BNP. Let it play.
So the latest phase of the grifting operation by Tommy Robinson has begun. You know, it's an overlapping chapter of grifting, in actual fact, isn't it? It goes from one grift to the next, you know, playing the perpetual victim. But in truth, look, is there any substance to the case against Tommy? Well, in the context of harassment, that is, we know the Terrorism Act case has substance because he refused to hand over the PIN code. And whether we agree or disagree with that one, that does have substance. We know that. That is fact. The harassment case, however, well, who knows? I've not seen the so-called evidence against him. And therefore, I'm not able to determine whether there is actually a strong case on the face of it or not. The CPS seem to think so. But knowing the CPS as well as I do, well, quite frankly, I mean, they love making up fairy tales about phantom emails. In fact, that particular phantom email, we're still waiting for it all these years later. We're never going to see it because it's a phantom email. It doesn't exist. So therefore, Tommy is alleged to have sent some emails and done some other, how could I put it, miscreant behaviour, for want of a better description. And this has landed him in, well, I won't exactly say hot water, but almost hot water. Harassment, online harassment in particular. Well, people say, today it's just being used as a weapon to eradicate our right to freedom of expression. I completely agree with you. That is definitely my experience of it, you know. But Tommy in himself doesn't really understand the full extent of the instruments of tyranny that they have at their disposal. But he will if he's convicted in this case. And I'll explain that now, in actual fact. Well, first of all, I'll say this. In the pantomime prison case that just concluded last week, he grifted over £2 million with the help of Ezra Levant, his Zionist handler, and therefore he doesn't need to grift any more donations to fund this harassment case and also the Terrorism Act case, because he pleaded guilty and there was an enormous surplus of donations left over, which obviously haven't been reimbursed to the donors.
Yeah, the window lickers donated to a man pleading guilty, and then Batty clapped after man pled guilty, where man said man was gonna, yo, hey, yeah, man, the BNP dude guy mad still, but like, yo, the truth's the truth, innit? Like, hey.
Has it? That never happens in actual fact. This is the same scam Ezra and Tommy pull every time. And, you know, if they've got a problem with it, Ezra in particular is trained in law, sue me. It's not a problem, sue me. He won't, because he knows it's true in actual fact. And obviously we'll have to see the audited accounts, won't we? And that's the...
And it don't matter if he sued you and lost anyway. Like, the people, the sycophants, won't accept the judgment anyway. Like, he's already been sued and lost, and they refuse to accept the findings anyway. Like, so that don't even matter. Like, truth and facts doesn't matter to a Tommy Robinson supporter. They don't know what truth and facts are, bro. They're just like fucking window licking spices like Adam Smith. You know what I'm saying? He got too much coke in his nose because he don't know what's going on or what that is.
One thing they don't want anyone to see is the audited accounts. That's the big no-no. You know, that one's out of bounds. It's the grey zone, quite frankly. But talking of the grey zone, as in terms of where it matters,
move that the fucking way, man.
That is, for those who might be slow on the uptake. So Tommy claims that, you know, he's now being persecuted. It's a new term. It's persecuted. Lawfare and persecution. Well, look, I'll say this about Tommy and his fanboys. They are renowned for carrying out acts of harassment and online stalking threats, abuse, intimidation, death threats. I've had it all from them in actual fact. And
Oh wow, he's been intimidated and abused by Tommy Robinson fans. I don't sound like the people that would support Tommy Robinson, people that try to give you death threats or any of that sort of stuff there. You know what I'm saying? Like mad. The thing.
And all of them boasted, I said this before in previous videos, that the police would never arrest them because they hated me and the police were on their side. Well, that's true. We all know that to be true. Yeah, it's another example of that so-called two-tier justice, or two-tier policing they keep ranting about. But and what we're going to see after tomorrow when Tommy appears in court is yet another classic example of narcissistic exceptionalism. This shouldn't be happening to Tommy, they'll be saying. Why shouldn't it be happening to Tommy? As I said, I've not seen the evidence against him in this case, but I do know for a fact that Tommy has form for harassment and stalking. We've seen that before, He already has one injunction for stalking and harassment. Lizzie Durden.
Yeah, plus he's harassed a 15-year-old refugee to the point of where he lost a court case, has been to jail, and raised God knows how much money to try to grift off the back of harassing a child. And these window lickers support this. You fucking window licking spazzy cunts. I hope none of you have families, bro, because if any of your children get terrorized by someone making a fucking false claims, even though you've brought them to court, they've been found guilty or they've been found liable, and blah 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 blah, all the other bits that go with it. Yeah, man, they fucking spazzy tomatoes. I'm saying it's proper window lickers, cuz. Trust me, fam. Oh my god.
And her husband. And he most definitely did do that. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. And in terms of this case, well, as I said, and it may well be regarded as circumstantial evidence, but in actual fact, I regard it as supporting evidence, because this is how it operates with this organised criminal gang called Urban Scoop, or more to the point, Urban Scam, and all the clowns that are involved in it and all those fools who support it. So anyone who says a word out of place, dares to question the narrative, dares to challenge Tommy as some messianic saviour, which is just absolute drivel in the same context as it's absolute nonsense with fake Farage, then of course they have to be harassed, they have to be intimidated, they have to be threatened, their family members have to be threatened. So look, quite frankly, the case against him may well not have any substance to it at all. It may well have substance in actual fact. It may well have legs. Might have big legs in actual fact. I don't know because I've not seen it, but the evidence, that is. But what I do know for a fact is that Tommy and his criminal gang most definitely do have a very long litany of form for carrying out acts of harassment, abuse, intimidation and death threats, and every time Tommy defends them. He defends all of his fanboys and his fangirls. Ginger Tony is a notorious example in actual fact. Absolutely odious woman. Really, truly.
That name checked. You name checked Ginger Tony. Hey, listen, I ain't really got an issue with Ginger Tony still, yeah? So I ain't gonna say nothing about her or whatever, innit, yeah? Some people have, some people haven't, innit? She ain't said shit about me yet, so I'll reserve my judgment still, man. But, I could talk about some other fans, some other sicker fans, and some other psychopaths that are supporters of the said agenda that my man's speaking on or whatever. And yeah, but these men are lunatics, cuz. Come on, be real. It actually doesn't matter which or how much evidence, factual evidence, or even recordings from the horse's mouth, yeah, self-admittance. Imagine, yeah, I was chatting with Easy the other day, yeah. He was going mad. Imagine I was chatting with Easy the other day, yeah. And he's saying to me, have you seen the documentary? Obviously, I've seen the shitty documentary. I'm saying to him, have you downloaded the court papers? No. He's like, you're biased. And I'm like, how the fuck could you even come to a conclusion like that when I've seen the documentary and read the court papers, but you've only seen the documentary? And differently, let me say this, yeah? Like, there's no situation where, like, a grooming gang made a fucking documentary proving themselves to be innocent. You would accept the findings on the person's documentary, even though the person got found guilty and went to jail or whatever for the crime that they allegedly was supposed to have committed or had been found guilty of or whatnot. There's no way you would accept. Oh, have you seen his documentary? Have you seen his documentary? What fucking spazzy sort of answer or question or any sort of point of view is that? Like, what? So what about his fucking shitty documentary, bro? Man got found guilty in court, cuz. Talking about. Like, the evidence that was brought up to try to make a case in that time there was, in the judge's words, incredible. Like, not incredible as dope, like incredibly shit. Like, what the fuck's going on, bro? What we doing around here?
Horrible person, you know. But and that's just that's just one person inside his little grifting factory, quite frankly. So yes, I think the case against him does have legs, and it will go to trial.
Mad, he called it a grifting factory. Hey, listen, yeah. This how you know, yeah, the grifting factory is serious, yeah. Car, a man like fucking Street Mikes came out doing his channel on some air quotes, Black Lives Matter, fucking Sasha Johnson and Black Pound Day and the carnival. Remember the history of black people in the Caribbean people in the thingamabob, yeah? Now he's just full-time Tommy Robinson's cameraman talking about, oh, Tommy, yeah? Union Jack suit. He went mad. Hey! Oh my days. Yo. Oh my goody gosh. Oh my goody gosh.
And all his nonsense about, oh well, you know, it's all about me and they're only doing this to me. Nonsense. I've had it done to me years before Tommy came onto the scene, years and years ago. I could teach Tommy more about lawfare than what he knows, in actual fact, quite frankly. And also Ezra Vance and all the other centre-right grifting clowns who demand exceptionalism before the law. Well, I don't agree with most of this legislation, I might add, you know. And Lucy Connolly, quite frankly, another one who they're always ranting about. Well, she very clearly incited people to attack hotels. The fact.
Bang. Exactly. And this brother's a fucking BNP member. Yeah. And he's saying, like, Lucy Connolly took her big face on fucking, Lucy Connolly took her big face all over X and tried to talk about telling people to go bun down this and bun down that and this, that and the other and yeah, then don't expect to find herself in no sort of shit or trouble when the shit hits the fan. Like, again, this could never be a Muslim guy talking about we need to go burn down this, that and the other, even though the people are not connected to him. They went and burnt down a venue that he was talking about. And you guys would be talking about, oh, it's only words on Twitter. It's only words on Twitter. It's only words. Why is it from to free speech? You fucking spazzes, man. The fuck is wrong with you, cuz? Like, that's not free speech. Like, inciting people to burn down hotels isn't free speech, bro. Like, are you okay? Let me give you a con. Fucking hell, bro. Like, get out of here, man.
Actually deleted it a couple of hours later. Should have been taken into account in plea and mitigation at least and given a non-custodial sentence. And frankly, as I said before, it could have been resolved with a police caution, but it wasn't. She's still in jail. But she's not exceptional. But this is what the centre-right demand. They demand exceptionalism before the law because they had it good under the Tories. The Tories barely did a thing to them. And now they don't like it because they're under Starmer. And they're...
I like no, dude, listen, yeah, the Tories was going mad. They had Bumba Clark, Pretty Patel, first of all, being like some Indian BNP. Yeah, just going mad, talking about even if her mum had migrated to the UK in whichever timeline, blah, 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 we wouldn't have granted her fucking a visa and all this sort of shit there. Then you got Bumba Clark, Suella BNP Braverman. Yeah, just booty clapping for BNP and extremists all over the place, unless they're brown. You know what I'm saying? Like, god damn. These man had it good for time, fam. Yeah, and they're still balling. Imagine that. Yo. And they're still balling, talking about two-tier policing. Shit's unfair. Yo, these times here, yeah. The man them have got bare shits that's been going on their side. Fucking biased politicians. Fucking super high top, like Shabba Ranks' high top sort of style of lean politicians and police that cap for these men. And these men are still talking about two-tier pollution. It's two-tier pollution. Can't reproduce no facts or findings that go with it. Just air talk. Hot breath. Fucking that smells like Stella, cigarettes, and fucking shit coke. What's it called? Benzocaine. You hear me? Word.
feeling the heat, they're feeling the pain of the harassment and abuse campaigns that they've been carrying out for many years. And now, quite frankly, you know, it's all coming crashing down on them. And in truth, what's happening with Tommy in this case, if you look at the previous videos I've made about the harassment and stalking campaign they carried out against me, and also the several failed violent attacks, well, quite frankly, this is just karma, is it not? This is karma coming full turn back onto Tommy's doorstep. And do I believe he's capable of harassment? I know for a fact he's capable of harassment. That isn't to say, however, that he has actually harassed the complainants in this case. That we will have to see. But there may well be an extremely unpleasant surprise waiting for Tommy at the conclusion of this case. Because whilst he says, oh, we could get up to 10 years, well, he couldn't in actual fact. The maximum is 5 years, even on Section 4 harassment, you know. And if he goes to the Crown, then...
Bro, you're not supposed to tell them the actual real numbers, bro. That's part of the grift, right? Man are going to tell you that they're being oppressed even more than they actually are. So we can, you know what I'm saying, put it in the bank. But again, like... brother, you can't fool all the people all the time, innit? But you can continuously fool spazzes over and over again, innit? Yeah? Like, you can't fool all the people all the time, but the fucking window lickers will just be licking windows and just get fooled along. You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what story comes out. The man that, like, literally, if Tommy Robinson changes his story today to say that blah, 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 everything he said was wrong is right now, and everything he said is right is wrong. Yeah, these men would all change their story and act like... Yeah, these men would all change their story and act like that was what they were saying in the first place. Yeah, the same thing with this two-tier policing bollocks. When we were screaming at these men about, yo, the police are pagans, cuz. Yeah, you fucking get on the wrong side of the police. If they just take a disliking to you or have an agenda where they don't want to give you any sort of justice, they can carry it out like that. No, they don't. You've got to go to the police. Oh, no, who are you guys? What the fuck, gang? They can't sort nothing out. Conflict resolution. Remember that? Guiding. Now, man, are talking about two-tier policing. Oh, you need to sign up with us because of two-tier police. Man, suck your mother. How about? You remember guiding? Man, go and guide your face in your mum's pom-pom, you dickhead. How about? Idiot. Man, move yourself, man. Fucking dickhead.
yes, you know, he could get 5 years, highly unlikely. He's never had a serious sentence yet, in actual fact. You know, I know you love that phrase. and so he might get one this time. And And what's Tommy going to do about it? Is he going to stop harassing people? Has he harassed anyone? I know for a fact he's harassed lots of people. I know for a fact that scores of his fanboys have harassed and intimidated his critics, and they've been allowed to get away with it. And now it's all coming to an end, and that's just the way it is, and that's how karma works. And finally, Tommy is getting his comeuppance, isn't he? Well, he will get his comeuppance if he's convicted, certainly, because if it's in a Crown Court, then he's going to be looking at about 2.5 to 3 years, possibly 3.5. And the CPS may well feel that, given the strength of the case against him, if that's what they believe they have, a strong case, and particularly if he's found guilty by a unanimous verdict, they may well feel that they have grounds to apply for a criminal behaviour order, which is an absolutely brutal instrument of tyranny. Tommy doesn't know anything about them yet, that is, but he might well know an awful lot about them. And they may not go for a CBO. They could just apply for a 5-year or 2 or 3 year injunction, a restraining order.
Let me pause you there for a sec here, like I was saying, yeah. Obviously, on this latest case, I'm reserving my judgment. If you haven't noticed, yeah, on these cases that's open, where there's no evidence out there, I tend not to give my opinion on it, or any sort of, oh, it's definitely this, it's definitely that. I always tell man, yo, wait till the case is heard through court. Yeah, let's see what we can read through the actual court paper transcripts, see what the man them has said in court, see what way goes this way and what way goes that way. But these men don't even want to do that. First of all, yeah, they've started up a false lie. Yeah, the window licking gang have started up a false rumor about the newspaper people printed pictures of his children or some other bollocks like that. Yeah, but that's not true, cuz like, you know that you can get the newspaper that they're talking about right now. Like, it's a digital print. Like, you can download the newspaper and go through all the pages and see what pictures were in the actual newspaper. Like, it's, why lie about something that you can fact check? Because these men are such sycophants, it don't matter, cuz man could just lie about anything. These men are gonna believe them. You're gonna get Banksy and his syrup up in fucking Speaker's Corner, bare doodle all over his tongue, talking about the Patriots, oh, we don't want it to be like Iran in England. He's like, brother, I don't know when the last time you went to Iran, yeah, and made any sort of comparisons between Iran and London, yeah, or Iran and England, yeah. Like, England ain't turning into no Iran anytime soon, you idiot. You know what I'm saying? These times here, I know that you can't go to Iran anyway, cuz you'll get burned out. Yeah, you'll get burned out. Yo, that will turn you into a bachi bazi. Yeah, to pussy cloud. Oh, I'm to some boy.
And they could also apply for a CBO at the same time. I've known them to do both, in actual fact, in tandem. You know, it's the instruments of tyranny they have at their disposal. You know, it's quite startling when you're actually in there, in the dock, standing tall before the man, you know, at the business end of the wharf against free speech. I've been there several times. I know what it's like. So yeah, they could apply for a restraining order, and he could even be acquitted, and this is the way the law works. Even if he's acquitted, the complainants and the CPS could say, well, look, you know, we feel we have grounds, this is to the judge, to apply for this restraining order, because even though he's been acquitted, and this is the way the law works, seriously, I'm not kidding, yeah, and let's say he's acquitted by a unanimous verdict, hypothetically, the judge can say, well, okay, I'll give you a restraining order for 2, 3 or 5 years, which means if he breaches the restraining order in any way, shape or form, he's back straight into court, no trial of any description, sentence, straight to prison. For a real sentence, that is. So it's entirely up to
You know why? Because, like, as much as people like to pretend that they can, like, anyone can't just do anything, you know. You can't just do what you want, innit? Like, and differently, the more notorious you are, or the more, say, infamous, famous, publicly known, recognized social media platform, the more scrutiny you're gonna be held to, the higher scrutiny, innit? Like again, yeah. We got a 100% high grade window licker like Jupiter screaming about digging up your dead kids, dig up dead kids or whatever. But if you was in the public eye or whatever, like that might have been the ending of your career and all that sort of things there. But because you're just like a fucking benefits claiming spaz, yeah, then no one cares or whatever. Like the wider public don't care, innit? Like they'll look down on it, but they're not fucking gonna so and so, innit? Like if he was as popular as fucking Tommy Robinson or something like that, then yo, people would have came down much harder on you for it or whatever. Yeah, and Jedi wouldn't even be able to save you. You get me? Yeah. So it is what it is, cuz man. Like the facts are the facts. Mad. Alright, go on.
Tommy, if he hasn't harassed anyone, then obviously he can go into court and say he hasn't harassed anyone and leave it up to the jury. But I know for a fact that Tommy thinks absolutely nothing of harassment. He's an egomaniac, we all know that for a fact, and he has got form for it, which obviously won't be read out to the jury for obvious reasons, prejudicing the case. But he has got form for it. Lizzie Durden, he harassed her, he turned up on her doorstep, he threatened her and said to her basically that if...
Hey, you notice how Wendy ain't carried on typing, yeah? Remember Wendy, when you was doing your shows about Lizzie Deirdre, and now fucking Tommy Robinson's harassing her. Tommy Robinson's a cunt, he is. He was harassing Lizzie Deirdre. He's harassing other people and there. You're fucking flip-flop, man. Look at you now, you beggar. You're like a Begatron, cuz, man. That's why I keep calling you a Stockholm Syndrome victim under the Tommy Robinson gang. Yeah? That's why Dave was on to you, cuz. Cuz you was chatting shit about his boss. You know what I'm saying? Yeah? And even why Dave was on to fucking Jupiter, because she was chatting shit about his boss, about his titties, about his moves and all that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Stockholm Syndrome weirdos out here. God, tell us, is Tommy's king, or is he still a pagan for harassing Lizzie Deirdre? You're pagan.
She didn't stop writing these truthful pieces about him, in other words, drug dealing and all the other grifting and cocaine, which we all know is true, then he would obviously her husband.
Jeez, the cocaine cowboys. You seen that documentary? The cocaine cowboys. You know what I'm saying? What you saying? No, you saying Tommy's a shotter, yeah? She want shotter. She don't want Harry Potter. Mad. How you mean? She want shotter. She don't want Harry Potter. She want wood fire hotter. Mad. Yeah, man. Oh my days.
As a paedophile, which is their favourite tactic. And we've also seen Tommy and Lawrence Fox in a studio interview admitting to the fact that when people call them something unpleasant, they respond by calling them paedophiles. It's just not on, quite frankly. Okay, somebody calls you a...
Oh wow, is that like admittance to slander, yeah? Hey. Admittance to slander, yeah? Crazy. Bad. Nelson Mandela? Yo, I bet even if you did an interview on fucking Eltham High Street or in fucking Bambaclar, Tommy Robinson's fucking local, they wouldn't say that he was Bambaclar Nelson Mandela, man. How much of a weirdo do you have to be to compare Tommy Robinson to Nelson Mandela? Are you okay? Yo. But ew, crazy still, man. Crazy. Yo. What's going on? Yeah, man. Yeah. See that, like, you see what it was, yeah? I've tried to give a lot of people a chance to lay out their points in it, yeah. Man, them have never, yeah. I would say, yeah. Alright, but let's talk about the Tommy Tarts, innit? When we're speaking about the Tommy Tarts, yeah, these man never come with any supporting paperwork that goes along with what they're saying. It's literally Tommy's word and a documentary he's made by himself that we just have to take all the word for. But it don't matter any paperwork that you bring, legal or otherwise, yeah, none of that matters. Yeah, they're not gonna accept or even look into, like, cause remember, these man haven't even downloaded the original court papers from the first court case, but want to talk about who's biased and who's not, who's leaning to one side and who's not, who's a hypocrite and who's not. Brother, you can't speak. You should shut your mouth, take your lips off of your face and never speak again. Yeah, that's what you should do. You chat shit, man.
Racist, so what? It doesn't mean anything to me. I couldn't care less. It means nothing to me at all. But making up a false allegation, which is what Tom and his fanboys are notorious for, about people being paedophiles, yeah, that can cause real damage. That's real incitement to violence, and that's what it's all about in actual fact. Yes, most definitely. So the grift this time, well, okay, yesterday he said he went to a legal...
Facts. Yeah, bud. Yeah. You know what? Yeah, I got another video from this brother. I'm gonna play this next video next to it. Yeah, fuck all that, cuz, bro. We speak about Brexit in a bit still, bro. You mean? She said she want chatter. She no want iron butter. She want wood fire car. All right. The BNP granddad. Talk to the right.
Great deal of mystery surrounding the involvement of one Tommy Robinson. Real name Stephen Yaxel-Lennon, or Tommy 5 names, or Tommy 10 names, whatever you want to call him. You know, he's a master of using false passports, fraudulent activity with mortgages and elsewhere, false counting, and also using multiple names. You know, a career criminal, as it were, has been, or not as it were, he is in actual fact, isn't he? You know, has been lionized as some sort of lion. Well, I can tell you this, there are no pacts between lions and men, and Tommy is not a lion. He barely qualifies as a man, quite frankly.
Hey, Mandy, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Produce evidence for your claim, innit, man, or close your lips, man.
But in truth, why did Tommy Robinson join the British National Party? Well, there was no one else, he perceived at that time, to represent what he believed was the Islamic takeover of Britain. So he thought to give the British National Party a go. And of course, there's the now notorious or legendary picture of him at a BNP meeting in Luton, at which one Richard Edmonds was speaking to the BNP membership and supporters, not all members. And so, true to form, even though he was just a member, a largely inactive activist, quite frankly, a man of no account, held no rank whatsoever in the British National Party, he demanded that his black friends, or black mates in it, bruv, be allowed into BNP meetings, and they were refused.
Lord have mercy. He had the BNP uncles come out there, yeah, his black mates, what, bruv? God damn, man, that's not how the rude boy speak, though, yeah. That's how you man speak still, so. But God, anyway.
And the problem with Tommy is that because he's actually left-wing and not at all racist, that is a false allegation against him. I won't give vent to false allegations. My name's not alias Tommy Robinson. That's what he does, and his brainless fanboys and fangirls.
Hey, without the P-word video, it would be a little bit harder to pin down the racism claim on Tommy Robinson specifically. But what you can say is that a whole lot of supporters and people that are surrounding Tommy Robinson have made and will make extremely racist statements. So obviously, remember, this dude's BNP in it, yeah? So what he's classing as something to do with racism, we don't know his level. Like the way that you guys, you Tommy Tards, count like or have your scale to measure levels of racism, yeah, it means that someone literally has to decapitate a black person and then use the knife to write a racial slur on the dead body before you might even consider if that person's a racist or whatever. But yeah, man, let Grandad talk, man.
They're also brainless, equally so. And so in truth, Tommy had a little tantrum, didn't he? Because his ego even then was gigantic, totally out of place with reality. Because I've spoken to people in BNP Bedfordshire and also in the southwest who finally had to put Tommy and his little thugs back in their place, quite frankly. And he was regarded as having no real talent.
Oh yeah? He spoke to the BNP members that had to put Tommy back in his place, yeah? Okay. Bad. That's not the way that Tommy tells the story, though. He's like, yo, the EDO man then ran BNP out of Bedford and or Bedfordshire, should we say, and them thing there. Yeah? Mad. I like justice. What happened to these spazzes trying to tell us about Tom Robinson's black mates? He just got one black mate the other day, Wendell. Street Max is his first real black mate. Taposi Cloud. Oh, I'm to some girl.
No real significance in the BNP whatsoever. And therefore he was not granted any form of seriousness or any position, title or rank. But that in itself was, irrelevant to Tommy. No, he believed he had the right to dictate to the British National Party that it should change its constitution and its entire membership policy just to accommodate little Tommy and his football hooligans. And that's all they were. Let's be honest about it.
Hey, listen, yeah, you know what you got to remember, yeah? When these men from the BNP are talking about black, yeah, they be anyone with a fucking suntan. So, like, someone from Malta or Romania might be classed as black to these guys. They're a whole European, bro. What are you talking about? Like, with a suntan. You get me? So, like, I still remember the times, yeah, when the racist dons would call a whole Indian guy with a turban black. You get me? So, let's be truthful with these labels that my man's throwing up, yeah? So, he might even be talking about Bumba Clark, Gurmit Singh, when he's talking about Tommy's black mate. You hear me, cuz? Oh my God.
They were football hooligans involved in the narcotics business. That is a proven fact, not opinion. He was a football hooligan involved in narcotics. The British National Party, quite frankly, would never have promoted anyone like him to a senior position, having learned its lesson from the early 1990s when it allowed all and sundry to join the party and they caused so much damage. Read the split 93-94, we know all about.
Oh, it's funny, innit? You know what I'm saying? You know what's funny, yeah? Is that probably a couple of the Tommy Tards in the chat was thinking that my man was going to say more things that was favourable to them. But, yo, he thinks you're a fucking spaz as much as I think you're a spaz. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, it's bad still. Mad, hey, Wendy, get your face off the window, fam. Drink water.
I've covered it. But true to form, Tommy, of course, had an epic rant about it and said that the BNP were not allowed. That's right, Tommy, little King Tommy, thought he was running Luton. And he ordered the BNP not to operate anywhere in Luton and Bedfordshire. And so, contrary to all the drivel spouted by Tommy and the not so menacing or unmenacing Gurmit Singh, Amit Singh, whatever he wants to call himself, another career criminal, just a bit of fraud in it, bruv. You know, another cocaine user and armed robber. Oh, the list of criminality is endless with these.
What you say? What, Gurmit's on the bugle as well, yeah? But I didn't know Gurmit's on the bugle too, cuz, you know what I mean? Mad. I thought it was against the Seeky thing to be sniff up the butt. Alright.
These people. Endless with these people. Why on earth do you think the British National Party didn't want to embrace them? It was a political party trying to win elections, not inviting football hooligans with a penchant for cocaine and violence into the ranks so they could wreck everything. And that's all Tommy had to offer the BNP. So when his offer, or more to the point, his demand was refused by the local leadership and reinforced by the party leadership under Griffin, he thought he could dictate to the BNP and order them not to operate anywhere in Bedfordshire. So, contrary to the fantasies that he spins with Amit Singh, Kermit, or could call him Kermit. If I call him Kermit, you know I'm talking about Gurmit Singh. So, contrary to the fables that he spins with Kermit about how they've been out there and fought ethno-nationalists all over the place, they've never done anything of the sort. Never done anything of the sort. And in the later battle they had with the infidels, they got hammered. They were classed far racists and fascists, according to Tommy and Amit and all the other lefties that they hooked up with. We'll get to that one in a minute. And so the first...
Bad, he's moving like Banksy, calling Tommy Robinson a lefty and that. Oh my days. Man, imagine how far right this guy must be to say Tommy Robinson's a lefty. Fuck, you know, he's going mad.
First stint of betrayal, which proved Tommy's leftism, quite frankly, was this diktat to the British National Party not to operate anywhere in Bedfordshire, and if they did, he'd close them down with his black and white minstrels, his football hooligans, quite frankly, all coked up, no doubt. And so what really happened was this. BNP Bedfordshire rallied other branches, particularly in the southwest. The Bristol activists in particular were most keen to tackle Tommy and his football hooligans, and so they travelled over to to Bedfordshire, into Luton, to have a word with Tommy and his little hooligans, or his hoolie fans as they were at that time and still are. And what happened was, little Tommy and his hoolie fans backed down. That's the truth of the matter. The BNP...
Mad. So, this BNP guy is trying to tell us how the BNP stuck it all over Tommy and his gang, rather than Tommy and his gang sticking it all over the BNP and them man there. Weird still, like, I actually don't give a shit who wins, innit? Like, fucking link up and destroy each other or whatever, innit, man? But fucking, you know, it is what it is.
In Bedfordshire was reinforced by BNP Southwest, primarily from Bristol. They went in there and they put an end to Tommy's little terror campaign against the BNP. So Tommy, in essence, betrayed nationalism from the get-go, from the outset. He betrayed his own people in favour of black football hooligans, all snorting cocaine, sniffheads, quite frankly. This is the low moral character of the person that we're dealing with. He's just a low-life junkie, quite frankly. How anybody could actually worship that con man, it absolutely beggars belief. But
hey, listen, Mark, with your little crackhead voice, are you mad? Behave yourself, man. I don't know why you keep coming around there and running up your mouth like you're some important somebody. You're just a fucking... You sound like a nitty yourself. You're fucking coming on there, but shut up, man. Oh, man.
the simple truth is, in a population that's so heavily dumbed down, it's hardly surprising, is it, when the mainstream media presents a little con man like Tommy Robinson. Goodness knows how many other names he uses. Perhaps you should ask him. You won't get a straight answer, obviously. You won't even get any audited accounts. We'll get to that later. And so that's the truth of how Tommy was jettisoned from the BNP, and his attempt to scare them into silence and stop them from operating was stopped very definitively. And he can spin whatever lies he wants, because we know Tommy lives in a dream world. He's a clown, quite frankly. And Kermit's an even bigger clown. We know who Kermit is, don't we? Yeah? He's from the Muppet Show. That's what Tommy's leading, a Muppet Show. He's Chief Muppet, leading a Muppet Show. Dan Wootton's become one of his chief Muppet cheerleaders, quite frankly. It's laughable. A news international criminal. You know, the criminality, it's just everywhere. It's endemic. In fact, it's an epidemic of criminality around Tommy Robinson, particularly fraud, grifting, and cocaine use, all of which are criminal offences, I might add. So, let's go forward to the English and Jewish Defence League. Sorry, that was amended, wasn't it? To English Defence League. This is where his Zionism came into play. At what point he was recruited by the Zionists, only Tommy can really explain that, can't he? He's been working for them ever since Ezra Levant, we know this.
Mad, you know, that's mad, innit? That's the far right split, you know. The far right split is the dons that rate Israel and the dons that hate flipping others, and then the dons that hate others hate Israel too. So it's like a split between the, as Ralph used to call it, yeah, not my words, Ralph's words, yeah, the J question. Remember you know what's mad, yeah? For a lot of time, Ralph has said loads of things and people haven't paid attention to what he's saying, yeah. And I used to be fucking spazzing out on the panels or whatever, because he used to say loads of shit, yeah, and you man just used to just sit there like, huh? What do you mean the J question? What does that mean? Huh? The J question. Mad. So he's asking if like fucking Jews in Europe are white. What? People whose ethnicity roll back to flipping Poland or Hungary, Estonia and Germany and any other place where any of the Eastern European Jews came out of. What kind of questions that? You guys mad.
For a fact. It's quite obvious when he was released from his pantomime prison sentence. He went straight to see Ezra to do an interview instead of meeting his family first. That tells you where Tommy's priorities lie, doesn't it? And so the English Defence League, yes, he quit. And a haze of publicity, all generated by the mainstream media, of course, which he claims is against him, but not so. Not so at all. Because like fake Farage, they're talking him up around the clock. And so he hooked up with the Quilliam Project and also Hope Not Hate, went out for lunch with Nick Lowles, of all people, several times.
Ah, so that's why they hate the Hope so much, yeah? Hope Not Hate broke Tommy Robinson's heart, yeah? When they signed him up to Quilliam and all that. Tried to fix him and that. Oh, shit. Ja Rastafari. Mad, dirty day.
Bearing in mind, Jada Franson has also told us that he later had a special branch handler, and this man's portrayed as anti-establishment. Well, he is for dumbos, quite frankly. Tommy's anti-establishment for dummies, quite frankly. That's all there is to it. And you've got to be completely stupid to swallow any of the nonsense about him being anti-establishment. And so he betrayed the English Defence League, denounced them all as racists and fascists, no less. Oh yes, just like a Leninist, Trotskyist, Marxist, Communista, you know? And so years later, when he's in league with Peter McLaughlin, you know, to write that ridiculous book, Manifesto, there's no manifesto in it. You'll never see any ideas from these people to change the country. They're only into grifting. McLaughlin hooked up with Tommy Robinson to use his cosmetically enhanced name to sell books to make money from, obviously. And Tommy wrote about 30% of it, McLaughlin, lightweight. And we all know that for a fact as well. And so, if you actually look at that book, and I've reviewed it extensively here on this YouTube channel, it's just an epic left-wing rant against the British National Party and ethno-nationalism in general. So at every single stage, Tommy has established the fact that he's not right-wing, he's not centre-right, he's definitely not a civ nut, he's a centre-left patriot, whatever that means. But who is he more patriotic to? Is it Israel? England?
Hey, oh my days. He's trying to make Dave and Den cry because about Tommy's a centre-left communist. Oh, snap. Lord of mercy. He's spazzing out still. One thing I do agree with him on, yeah, was when he was saying some of the supporters are numb as fuck, bro. Like, not like a high number. Like, bro, these men are straight sycophants. Like, and psychopaths. You know what I'm saying? But go on, man. BNP granddad talk to them.
England, Ireland, I'm at a loss to understand, you know. The man has explained in the past that, you know, he's immediately descended from Irish Fenians, quite frankly, and that he's proud of it, and that the British establishment, yes, that's right, the so-called British establishment, are dealing with a Fenian rebel. And these dumbass Englishmen, yeah, with their flags of St. George, are following this Fenian rebel owned by a Zionist grifter. My goodness, you know, it takes a special kind of stupid, doesn't it, to believe that there's any form of patriotism going on here. And as for describing this man as a nationalist, you must be living in a realm of fantasy. A bigger realm of fantasy, in actual fact, than Prevent, with its cultural nationalism nonsense, civic nationalism, yeah? You know, they've just been described as extreme right-wing. Absolutely laughable. They barely even qualify as centre-right. And in truth, I have to say, they mostly qualify as centre-left. But because Prevent and Keir Starmer and all these left-wing factions are so far to the left, they can actually perceive the centre-right people, like Tommy Robinson and Carl Benjamin. That's right, Carl Benjamin, another centre-right grifter. Yeah? Sorry, centre-left grifter. Using...
Yo, obviously, you know, I'm disagreeing with what my man's saying here, innit? Yeah, but boom, like, yo, definitely, Tommy Robinson was Sargon of Akkad, aka Carl Benjamin. Man, fuck that Sargon of Akkad, man. He's a pussy as well, man. There's no ratings for that weirdo or whatever. Like, oh, yeah, man. God, how far right is this guy for him to be talking about these man there are like centre left or Marxists? Mad. Yeah, it's mad still. It's a mad one. God damn. God, man.
The left-wing lexicon to smear and attack nationalists whilst aping nationalist ideology on cultural, I could have put it, survival, for want of a better description. You can call it a whole manner of things, but it really is just cultural survival that we're talking about with nationalism, because we are under a massive threat of eradication, quite frankly. I suppose that puts me right up there in tier 2 category with Prevent. Not that I could actually care. They're all Marxist, brainwashed by the most evil ideology that has ever disgraced this earth. An ideology that has killed more people than cancer, quite frankly. I don't justify myself to left-wing extremists of any description. So, and that includes Tommy Robinson. Although he's not a far-left extremist, he's certainly centre-left. At every stage, Tommy has proved his leftism, not rightism. He used last week, ranting out the BNP again, ranting about ethno-nationalism and nationalism in general, and referring to them as the real far right. Innit, Governor? Give me some free money from the free money tree, dummies. And
Hey.
they do.
You know what's funny? That sounds like these lots on there, innit? Wait until you meet the real far right, Velle. Wait until you meet the real far right, Velle. You fucking spazzes. You man are far right. You're just not as far right as these other lunatics. You know what I'm saying? But boy.
Obviously, don't they? And this is the point that I'm making. He betrayed the right-wing British National Party.
Oh,
He went on to betray the right-wing English Defence League, which was not as right-wing as the BNP. And who else is he going to betray? Who hasn't he betrayed, more to the point? Because Tommy will betray any organisation that he gets involved in, particularly if he's formed it. We've seen that. That is a proven fact. And let's be perfectly clear about it. Tommy is not a politician. He has no political movement behind him. The English Defence League was an utterly irrelevant but noisy street gang. focusing solely on Islam and Islamist terrorism, quite frankly. You know, and in some ways that was a good thing. The grooming gangs, all of that was done by the British National Party, primarily Marlene Guest in Rotherham. Great woman, great lady, in actual fact. Legend, the real legend that exposed the grooming gangs, not grifting Tommy Robinson. And so this is the point I'm making with Tommy, is that at every single stage, when push comes to shove, Tommy will stand with the lefties, whilst forever moaning about Nick Lowell's and Hope Not Hate and his dumbass supporters, and you're spoilt for choice.
Hey, beef puts you in ICU. It's beef when I see you, motherfuckers.
Where it comes to them, ranting about, oh, see that one here, he don't worship Tommy like we do. He must be Hope Not Hate, innit, bruv? You know what I mean? Excuse me, what?
Oh my god, that was an Adam impression. He literally just done an impression of Adam Smith. Tommy, flowers. Oh my god, that was literally an impression of Adam Smith. Tommy, Tottenham, flowers. Tommy, Tottenham, cocaine. Tommy, Tottenham, flowers. You're fucking muppet. He's a dickhead.
I just have a line of sniff and get pissed. Yeah, we're talking about dregs, lowlife. You know, let's be honest about it. These are the people that he attracts, dregs and lowlife. I don't want to be in any organisation with dregs and lowlife, the likes.
Hey, that's facts. I disagree with his BNP stance here, but I agree with that. That movement is attracting a lot of dregs and lowlifes. We can give an example of at least 3 dregs and a couple of lowlifes, yeah? But number 1 dreg, yeah, is Wendy Wu. Number 2 dreg is Babs. Number 1 lowlife is Jupiter. Number 2 lowlife's Den. So I had dregs and lowlifes all day. God damn, Tommy. You gotta sort out the recruitment purposes, because, man, you're worse than Nigel Farage's reform recruitment. Taposi Clark. Bamba Clark, man.
Of which Tommy Robinson attracts. The British National Party didn't want those dregs and lowlifes either. That's the reason why he was shown the door. And that's also equally the reason why those dreggish lowlife thought they could resort to dreggish lowlife tactics. In other words, intimidation and violence. It's a good thing he didn't try it on the BNP in the early 1990s when we had the direct action units, because there would have been no calling in reinforcements from the southwest. Tom and his little fanboys basically would have been disincentivized very quickly and efficiently. But we're not in that environment now, and we weren't at the time when Tommy got his marching orders from the BNP and failed completely to stop the BNP from operating in Bedfordshire. And so what I would like to say is this. Now, Tommy's touted as being some sort of legend who destroys everyone he meets. Everyone he meets who dares to criticise him, he destroys, according to Dan Wootton, if you believe that fancy and fairy tale channel. Yeah, well, you know, he worked for News International, come on. He's a comic scriptwriter. He now uses AI imagery for every single video that he produces. On the Wootton Outspoken show, is it? My goodness, honestly, another one who needs to get a grip on reality. There's nothing outspoken about him whatsoever. But I'll say this, if Tommy and his little fanboys want a debate of any description, well, quite frankly, I'm perfectly willing to go into a studio and debate Tommy, and there'll be no headlines from Dan Wootton afterwards about, oh, he destroyed Simon Tomlin. On the contrary, I will completely and utterly destroy him with facts-based evidence. So if Tommy wants to have a go, quite frankly, using his parlance, that's his terminology, his lingo, in it, brav, if he wants to have a...
Simon, I think you're reaching there still. I think that man's going to the studio to debate still, but if you build up your following a little bit, you might be able to get still, yeah? You know what I mean? You know what I mean, mate? Oh, man. Jeez. Let it play.
wants to come and face me in a studio debate, he's perfectly welcome to try it. I absolutely guarantee you, I will wipe the floor with him. Anytime he wants it, and I absolutely assure you this, Tommy will never, never face off against me in any studio debate, because he knows perfectly well he'll get wiped out, quite frankly, totally and utterly cleaned up.
He'll debate you, and his sycophants will say that you won, no matter what you said, even if you're able to show paperwork that proves that man's just been chatting shit for God knows how long or whatever. I'm just saying that you haven't got the clout around your own name, Simon Tomlin or whatever, to be demanding debates with people that have a following or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just have to just basically keep the bunking, man, and rise up and then go like that, bro. Yeah, so Simon. Hey, Simon, calm down, slow down. Don't rush. You got bad.
Not cleaned up in a good way, cleaned off the floor, or maybe I won't clean him off the floor. But, you know, the point I'm making is, one of the things I'd like to ask him is about the litany of death threats, harassment, stalking, abuse that his fanboys and fangirls have been involved in against me and many other people, Lucy Brown, Mark Heath, for example. These are just some of the notables. In fact, there was one guy last week, Marcus Glenn, in actual fact, who told me about how he'd been intimidated, harassed and smeared by the Tommy Robinson Thug Club. Yeah, well, this is what they do. They think they can pick on people. Made a big mistake picking on me. I promise you, a big mistake trying to pick on me. I've dealt with Red Action and Class War. Tommy Robinson and his little fangirls, that's what his fanboys are, little fangirls. You don't scare me in the slightest. So I can go to a level you will never go to. Never go to. And one of those levels I can go to is taking you on in debate. There are other ways I can deal with them as well, in actual fact, which they're not prepared to go down to, because they're all plastic gangsters, innit, Governor? They're not the real thing, they're plastic.
Oh,
barely even...
Yo. If I heard a dog whistle, yeah, I'm talking about like, yo, he reckons that he can take man on whichever side of the road man wants to fucking pull up on, innit? If you want to pull up on Debate Street, we can have the debate. If you want to pull up on Gangster Street, then my gangsters will deal with them out. Yeah, I saw you bad, Simon. Mad.
Qualify as, I guess you could say, transparent plastic. Well, they're all transparent, without a doubt. But certainly, if in the interests of transparency, if he wants to be transparent, he can bring the audited accounts with him right back to 2017, when we first asked him for audited accounts. And that includes all the false accounting his wife's been involved in. And he can explain it to us, and he can also clarify definitively the allegations regarding the 42,000 raised in the name of Peter Lynch, because we all want to know what really happened to that money, because we know for a fact that...
Oh boy, don't let Ghost hear that. No one clip this and send that to Ghost. Yeah, about the Peter Lynch money and that, cuz, you know, he'll be on to that still. Yeah, you're lucky I didn't send this to Ghost, cuz. Yeah, to Pussyclad. Mad. Hey, listen, yeah. I'm gonna done this video. I might play the next video, and then we out after that still, man, yeah? But, alright, go let it play.
Urban scams fairy tale about the Lynch family didn't want the money is just that. It's a fairy tale. So if Tommy wants to come and explain these things to me, and first and foremost, he'll have to explain the litany of threats that his fanboys and fangirls have made against anyone who dares to criticise him. Death threats in particular, very nasty, very unpleasant. I don't ignore death threats. Be in no doubt whatsoever, I do not ignore them. I action them every single time. No one is ever going to make a death threat against me and get away with it. I can tell you that for a fact. I don't care who they're connected to. Is that perfectly clear? And that's something else I want to make clear to Tommy Robinson, is that if these death threats continue, then I'm not actually going to deal with his fanboys. I'm going to hold him directly responsible for the threats, because at every single stage he's endorsed the people making those threats, and so therefore we must assume quite clearly that said threats are made on his behalf with his tacit consent, And he's not bothered about them, and that's why he always defends the scumbags making these threats. And we also have to ask another question is, why none of them ever get arrested? Maybe the bent coppers can explain that one. I mean, spoilt for choice with them as well, aren't you? I mean, there's so many bent coppers. Take your pick. We're in a country infested with them. Yeah? So, and some of them are now coming out, aren't they, on these podcasts to explain, oh, I always agreed with Tommy Robinson, innit, Gaffner? And I read his book, you know, his semi-literate troll trope, and I always agreed with it because I'm also a semi-literate troll, innit, bruv? You know, I was only masquerading as a protector of the public. Yeah, absolutely. That's what I think of them, quite frankly. I don't care what they think. It's of no concern to me whatsoever. But we are seeing that very clearly, the extent.
Well, Simon, let me help you, bro. Let me tell you this. They don't think. Yeah? Not that they don't think about you. They just don't think at all. Yeah? So, let it play.
Yeah? Of the bent coppers who have actually aided and abetted the centre riot. So if Tommy wants to come and explain himself, or to have, you know, even a polite, moderate debate, yeah, I'm game for it. Whenever he is, yeah, absolutely, let's do it, you know. But I can absolutely assure you, I've challenged him several times in the past. I've done the same thing with fake Farage as well, another one he's made to look good because he's never given any form of contest whatsoever. And the press just give him a free pass every time. Nobody really challenges him.
Facts.
None of them will come forward. Not one of them. All they do is reach for the block button.
Facts. Yeah, Nigel Farage gets overinflated with the amount of publicity time that he gets, yeah. But cuz, like I'm trying to say, fam, like, bro, who are you though, cuz? Like, why the fuck is Nigel Farage or Tommy Robinson gonna debate you? Cuz you need to put some work in, rude boy. Yeah, me. Yeah. Hey, yo. Hey, shout out John, man said bent and coming out. Why? Oh my days. Yeah. Lord of mercy. Yeah. Oh God. Nearly done.
That's all they're capable of doing. That's the extent of their courage, their strength of character, their moral fibre is, oh crikey, you know, crisis of confidence. Somebody has criticised me. Where's the block button? Oh, I feel so strong now, so protected, so mighty, so much like a lion. I've used the block button. Well, there you go. The fact that they have to use the block button, yeah, when confronted with, how could I put it, embarrassing questions, proves that they have no honest answer to give. And so therefore the people who say you should face off against Tommy Robinson, yeah, absolutely, I'd love to, but it won't happen because he's a coward, a liar, a grifter and a junkie. He's all of those things, and he's a con artist, and more importantly, he's not right wing, he's actually centre left. Okay, let that sink in. Tommy Robinson is centre left.
Yeah, man, sir. Peace. Louis, Sharice, and all of them gal. I got one more video to play, yeah? Yeah, I got one more video to play, then I'm out of it still. Let me line up the ratatouille. All right, man, the moment you all been waiting for. Yeah, man, you know, come on, man, you know I don't agree with that about no centre-left bullshit or whatever, man. Tommy Robinson's definitely a fucking far-right lunatic, man, but he's just grifting so much that the actual far-right dons are finding it hard to accept Tommy's far-right qualification. You get me? Yeah, man, they're taking it hard to take Tommy's far-right qualifications. Yeah, man, move shaky still. Yeah, so it's the moment you all been waiting for. Yeah, man. He's your friend, my friend, our friend. Yeah? champion of the white working class people, spokesman. Yeah? Spokesman. Yeah, man, let me introduce to you. Trust me. It's not Jesus Christ. It's not Jeremy Corbyn. It's yeah.
First observation I'm going to make this morning, and I'm afraid I didn't.
Oh wait. Let me pause. The reason for this video, yeah, is to show that Velle is celebrating a benefit from Brexit. Velle is celebrating from Brexit. How you feel about that? Are you happy about that? Are you happy? Are you happy Velle celebrating a benefit from Brexit? Eh? Man. Yeah, man. Yeah, make sure you keep the smiles up though, yeah?
Spotted myself. You may well think that I should have done. I would probably agree, but I am grateful to the Financial Times columnist, Gideon Rachman, for this insight. I think he's the fella that also first pointed out that Donald Trump always chickens out when he's in a sort of tete-a-tete, a tariff tete-a-tete. So enjoying quite a nice little season, Gideon Rachman, but he has established a Brexit benefit, a genuine benefit of Brexit. You heard it here second. The only way that the UK was able to sanction the hideous...
Wait! Before he goes too mad, did you hear that, yeah? A benefit of Brexit. Even James O'Brien's celebrating the benefit of Brexit. Lord have mercy. God damn. It must be a benefit. It must be a positive one, right? Must be a positive benefit if we're going to celebrate it. Yeah? Hey, James, talk to them.
Israeli politicians Ben Gvir and Smotrich. And I will be justifying the use of the word hideous shortly, is because we're not in the European Union. Did you know that? Did anybody else spot that? So why are we acting with Norway, Canada, Australia and New Zealand? Answer, because the EU could not secure internal agreement to sanction these two men. Presumably because of...
There you go. So we're celebrating Brexit because the European Union couldn't make a decision on sanctioning Ben Gvir and the other guy who was going to get sanctioned. Oh shit, you know what? Yeah, so Ben Gvir and the other guy wouldn't get sanctioned by the European Union because they couldn't come to a decision on it. Yeah, man, so imagine, yeah, at the time when all the Brexiteers would usually be cheering for Brexit is the time when they're cheering for the European Union. But the time that I'm cheering for Brexit, yeah, because got him. Yeah, man, you should have known, innit? You know that I'm an Aegon buyer now, cuz, man, you should have already known, fam, that obviously it was going to be, Smallrich, sorry. Obviously it was going to be something like that, right? What?
Of Hungary. I don't know whether that's true or not, but authoritarians tend to flock together, don't they? And Viktor Orban may well have been the fly in this particular ointment, but there it is. I mean, that puts some people in quite a strange position for reasons I don't think we could go into today because they're too opaque and confusing. But people who perhaps would think that today's a day to talk about Greta Thunberg's viewing habits rather than the sanctioning of two members of a supposed ally government would also generally have been in favour of leaving the European Union. And yet it is only because we've left the European Union that we can focus our opposition on these two characters so effectively. And anyway, I just thought that was an interesting observation, don't you? Actually, speaking of this idea that the Israeli propaganda machine has managed to inject into the usual corners of the of the British media sewers, what would they have done? Would they have put matchsticks in her eyes if she just said, "I don't want to watch this film"? I don't want to watch this film, for example, until you let journalists into Gaza so that people can see what's happening there. Otherwise, this would be a very, very deliberately unbalanced attempt to sway public opinion. Would they put eyes to force her to watch the thing? What a strange question it is to ask whether somebody should be compelled to watch something they don't want to watch while being held captive after being effectively kidnapped in international waters. But hey ho, moral compasses are very strange things. Who knows where they will end up pointing next? For example, I guess Smotrich and Ben-Gvir presumably have supporters. I heard a bloke on the BBC yesterday having the most extraordinary meltdown while being incredibly insulting about this country, which of course has been an incredibly steady and committed ally to Israel through thick and through thin. And that's what I'm interested in today. I'm interested in the relationship you have with your government in the UK as a consequence of what they have done with regard to Israel. Australia, Canada, New Zealand and Norway joining the UK to place sanctions on Itamar Ben-Gvir and Bezalel Smotrich, largely for inciting violence against Palestinians in their campaign to gain control of new settlements in the West Bank. You will know, if you follow this programme, even vaguely closely, that the track records, the CVs of these two men are extraordinary when you consider that they've managed to scale relatively dizzy heights of power in Benjamin Netanyahu's Israel. Their past associations, their past behaviour, their past conduct, their past comments would make them persona non grata in most democracies, but not, of course, in this one. Travel bans, the freezing of assets in the 5 relevant countries, that's Australia, Canada, New Zealand, Norway and the United Kingdom, and the freezing of assets and travel bans being pretty hefty sanctions for foreign countries, including nominal allies, to impose. We are steadfastly committed to the two-state solution and will continue to work with our partners towards its implementation. This is a statement by David Lammy and his fellow foreign ministers in the 4 other countries. It is the only way to guarantee security and dignity for Israelis and Palestinians and ensure long-term stability in the region. Smotrich has said that there's no such thing as a Palestinian nation, but Ben-Gvir has spoken of his rights in the illegally occupied territories within the West Bank being more important than the rights of millions of Palestinians. The expansion of West Bank settlements, illegal under international law, campaigning against allowing humanitarian aid into Gaza, saying just last month that Gaza will be entirely destroyed and that Palestinians would leave in great numbers to third countries. There's a word for that kind of policy, isn't there, historically? Ben-Gvir has called for the expulsion of all Palestinians from Gaza. He's talked about there being no need to bring in aid because they apparently have enough. Another lie that you can only make if you're preventing foreign journalists from getting into the territory. And on it goes. On it goes. I don't know if you were listening yesterday, and a caller picked up on that comment that Keir Starmer made at the very outset when he, according to his own account, when he accidentally endorsed the I think a pretty clear war crime of cutting off the supply of water or electricity into the Gaza Strip and rode back almost as quickly as he rode into it. But many people.
Yo, alright, man. I'm at home now still, man, so we out of here, bro. Say less, man. Slap the like button, share the stream, all them things there, yeah? If you don't like Velle, suck your mother, innit? My blood. I'll show you guys, man.